Here's how to make both sides of your windows and screens look brand new again without requiring any ladder outdoors. I mixed a solution of cleaning vinegar and a little bit of dish soap into a bucket. The soap helps to clean while the vinegar leaves a streak-free finish. I first removed the sliding windows. I also removed both screens. The window tracks were first vacuumed, but here's a hack to clean them perfectly. Using a little pick tool I found on Amazon with the tip bent downwards, I pulled up one side of the track, which enabled me to lift the entire thing out. I then vacuumed and used a wet soapy rag and an old toothbrush and worked the track frame until it was clean. You can also remove black scuff marks using an SOS pad if desired. Then the track was snapped back into place. To clean the outside of the window, I set up a ladder on one side for added height. You can either use a brush with a longer handle or just use a soapy washcloth like I did. Climbing on the ladder gave me just enough height to wash half the outside from both sides. Then I followed up using my water and vinegar solution and polished it off with a dry cloth. To clean the windows, I set them on the floor nearby and used the soapy water cloth on both sides as well as along the tracks and frame, then dried the windows with a clean cloth. To clean the screens, I placed them in the bathtub, sprayed them down, then washed both sides with a soapy rag. After a rinse, I dried both sides. After both windows were washed, replaced, and closed tightly, I then went outside and sprayed the washed window from the ground level to rinse it off. The vinegar left the end result completely streak-free with just air drying. Then after cleaning the screens in the tub, they were replaced, and I ended with spraying the tracks with a product called Inox. You won't believe how much nicer the windows glide open and closed. To fix a window screen in the bedroom, I visited my local hardware store and purchased some screen material cut off a large bulk roll. To repair one screen cost me about $6 Canadian. I placed the window screen with the spline track facing up. I used a screwdriver to dig up the spline out of the track so I could pull it all out. The old screen was then removed. The new screen material was placed on a table with a frame on top. The screen was cut to size, then leaving some overlap. With the frame under the screen, I reached for a spline roller tool with the indented side. After starting the spline in one corner, I rolled over the rest with the roller with just enough force to push the spline into the frame. You'll want to ensure the screen feels fairly tight as you work so you don't get ripples. Then I used a cork-backed straight edge and knife and trimmed the screen edges along the outside of the spline until completed. And now with the new screen back into place, both the clean windows look completely brand new again. I'm now officially inspired to get them all done in short order. I hope my simple window hacks remove any hesitation you may have had to help get a jump start on your own window cleaning too.
Ever feel like your house is quietly hoarding clutter while you sleep? Let's go through your house and uncover the stuff you'll be thrilled to toss, donate, or finally say goodbye to. Let's start in the kitchen. First up, old spices. If they smell like absolutely nothing, they're past their prime. Compost the contents, recycle the jars, and reclaim that shelf space. Coffee mugs. If your collection could serve a small village, or you keep reaching for the same two every day, donate the extras to a local shelter or thrift store. Expired food. Yep, that mysterious sauce in the back of the fridge isn't aging like fine wine. When in doubt, toss it out. And try organizing your fridge with clear bins so you can actually see what you have and check those expiration dates frequently. And those plastic containers with no lids, or lids with no containers? Recycle what you can and replace it with a manageable set that actually matches. Expired beauty products. If it smells off, feels weird, or you can't remember when you bought it, it's time to throw it away. Old towels or bedding. These can yellow over time without you even noticing, or have stains that won't come out no matter what you try. Donate them to an animal shelter. They make great bedding for furry friends in need. Broken jewelry. Be honest, are you really going to fix it? If not, look for a local jeweler who recycles metal or get creative. Some people use old pieces in crafts or shadow boxes. Oh, the mysterious single sock. Their partner has moved on. You can too. A great repurpose idea, though, is to use them for dusting. Old magazines. You're not going to clip recipes from 2018. Recycle them or drop them off at waiting rooms where they might actually be read. Instruction manuals. If you can find it online, you don't need it in print. Shred anything that might have personal information on it, and then recycle the paper and breathe a little easier. Unused charger cords and wires of any kind. These just tend to grow and grow and grow. If you don't know what it belongs to, it doesn't belong in your house. Dried pens and markers. Test them on paper. If they're dead, they're gone, and you can toss them. Old batteries. Before you toss them, test the charge. You might be surprised which ones still have life in them. If they're truly dead, don't trash them. Drop them off at local battery recycling stations. Many hardware and office supply stores have easy, free options. Decluttering doesn't have to be overwhelming. Just start small, let go with love, and celebrate every little win. Now go toss that sock. You know the one.
I'd like to be able to open my back door without letting the bugs in, but what I need to do is measure the door, come up with 33 inches, and go pick up some window screen from my hardware store. First thing I gotta do, open up the packaging, and then I'm gonna lay it out. It's 80 inches long, and as it's 36 inches, I wanna cut it right down the middle. So I'm gonna cut it at the 18-inch mark. First thing I want to do also is lay out a straight board that I can cut across. I'm going to use a razor blade. You can use a pair of scissors. I'm using a razor blade on this one, and I know what you're thinking. He's cutting right through the table. But don't worry, this is one of my work tables. I can just go ahead and slice right through it. Once I get that screen cut, I'm going to separate them. Then I'm going to grab some Velcro. This is a 24-inch strip, and what I'm going to do is lay it out because it comes separated. I'm going to put the two halves together. This kind of Velcro is sticky on both sides with paper that keeps it in. So once I get it all laid out, then I got to measure it. I think I need about good 8 strips. So I'm going to cut these at 3 inches apiece. Go ahead and go down and mark it at the 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21-inch mark. That's going to give me 8 good strips. I'm going to go ahead and cut those by keeping them together. I want each one of these to match up with each other. Once I get them cut, the next thing I got to do is go ahead and place them along the screen on one half where I want to lay them out. It's going to be about every foot or so, maybe a little bit less. The first thing also after that is to peel the backing off one side of the Velcro, and I'm going to place it right next to the edge on one side of the screens, about a couple inches down from the top and the bottom. I'm going to place all 8 strips along the screen. Once I get that done, I'm going to go ahead and peel the backing off of the strips. Take the other screen that I have and fold it in half. It's easier to work when it's halfway folded. Then I'm going to place it right where it needs to go. Press down hard. I want this to adhere to the sticky part of the Velcro. Once I get that first half done, I'm going to go ahead and lay it down and get it all secured on the other side. Again, just some good pressure. Gives me some good overlap and it's sticking together really nice. Next step is I got to secure it to the door. So what I'm going to use is some pins, and they've got a nice head on there and it's going to give it some security. So I'm going to put those into the door trim on the outside. Don't need to put too many, but just enough to make sure it stays secure. Now, I do have some overlap on the sides. You could fold those over to give it some extra strength, but I think it's going to hold up just great. Now, look at this. I've got this screen on. I can, if I need to, open my door, open the screens. It's not hard to go out of. And in the afternoon or early morning, I can open it up, keep the bugs out, and let the nice cool air in. It doesn't take much to put it together, and also, if I need to, I can open it up with some Velcro or some twine and hold it together. I hope you enjoyed this DIY screen door project as much as I did. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time.